Technically, you work for the captain, so you should tell him what we uncovered.
I need your report, mercenary. Word reached me that Councillor Jirik was murdered. What about Sophus and Valeria? And did you find definitive proof that the Dark Brotherhood is our culprit? That's the Black Hand, symbol of the Dark Brotherhood. I wish Jirik and Sophus had allowed me to assign brigadines to protect them. At least Valeria, however reluctantly, agreed to a military escort. Did you and Everly uncover any other information? It appears that Councillor Leviticus's trust in the Wood Elf was not misplaced. Very well. You and Everly can head in and talk to the Councillor.
Captain Rian and the Ivory Brigade will deal with the Dark Brotherhood. We are perfectly safe in here.
Your damn empire, Leviticus. It no longer exists, but it still causes...
Welcome to Leyawiin, citizen. Our city is a jewel on Topal Bay, safe from the ravages of that insane war. Thanks to the Ivory Brigade and Captain Rian's brigadines, we are totally secure. Now, please go about your business and have a nice day. What an odd question. I am the ruler of Leyawiin. Of course, I allow the Chamber of Legates to deal with the day-to-day bureaucracy of the city, so I may concentrate on more important matters. Now, away with you. I have important matters to deal with.
To keep a situation like this a secret from his fellow legates. What was Leviticus thinking? And now Councillor Jirik is dead? When the river rises, everyone gets wet, I'm afraid. Most certainly. Moments after the captain brought Councillor Leviticus the news, the councillor summoned Teb and myself. He explained everything. He should have done so sooner. Allowed us to help, but I know he thought he was doing the right thing.
Leyawiin and its citizens are in danger, and Leviticus is only telling the Chamber of Legates about this now? This one knew we weren't done with Leovic and the Longhouse Emperors. She just knew it. While Countess Kero sits on Leyawiin's throne, it is the Chamber of Legates that governs the city. There are 3 legates. This one, Amhalu, and Leviticus. Each one has an equal voice. This one supposes Leviticus's voice is slightly louder. Leviticus was the chief counselor of the Imperial Elder Council. Since the threat concerned his former colleagues, he decided to keep it to himself until he ascertained its veracity. He did inform us as soon as the threat was deemed real. An august body that advised the emperors and maintained the imperial bureaucracy. It was disbanded with the collapse of the empire. Many of the former councillors came here to escape the war in Cyrodiil. They retained their titles as a sign of respect.
You must be the mercenary that Captain Rian told me about. And I see you're working with Everly Sharparrow. Good. Good. I assume you have something to report. I'm listening. Damn it all to oblivion and back. I should have taken Pharo Lupus more seriously when I received his letter. This is definitely the mark of the Dark Brotherhood. Anything else to add to this? Yes, that's the Longhouse Emperor's code. Only a handful of Imperial scribes can decipher it. I know one. Baragon. I'll send for him at once. Meanwhile, we must warn the remaining councillors on the list. Eivor, Valeria, Itinia, and Vandacia. Very good. I've sent messages to Itinia and Vandacia already, as neither of them are currently within Leowin's jurisdiction. I need you to go to Fort Blueblood. Councillor Eivor has taken refuge there, but I'd prefer to have her here in Leowin. Everything we do now must be swift if we are to get ahead of this. Go to Fort Blueblood and convince Councillor Eivor to return to the city. She'll be safer here than at the fort. Sadly, no. Whatever Leovic confided in Pharaoh Lupus and the others, whatever he ordered them to do, he kept it a complete secret from me. I suppose he assumed I wouldn't go along with anything illegal or Daedric, and he was right. I was, but the Elder Council was made up of almost 24 counselors. According to the list Evely Sharparrow brought me, only 7 counselors were privy to this secret. Make that 6. I have no idea why Leovic listed me among that group. Who knows what was going through Leovic's head when he wrote that entry in his journal? Varen and his rebels were literally pounding at the doors of the palace at the time. And Leovic wasn't totally in his right mind even before the rebellion. The Longhouse Emperors were Reachmen, who seized control of the Empire and ruled for some 40 years. Dukarach the Black Drake founded the ruling house. Morikar ascended to the throne after his father's death, and his son Leovic followed him. Leovic made a mistake. When he decided to declare Daedra worship as the law of the land, Duke Varen Aquilarios objected. He led a rebellion and personally dispatched Leovic in the Imperial throne room. Thus ended the Longhouse Emperor's reign. Unfortunately, no. Varen disappeared a few years later and the Empire collapsed. Now the so-called alliances are fighting over the scraps and Tamriel is in shambles. We're doing all we can just to keep Blackwood safe and secure. Sadly, no. Whatever Leovic confided in Pharaoh Lupus, I was, but the Elder... Who knows what was... Eivor has always had an affinity for the Imperial military. When she received her letter of warning from Pharaoh Lupus, she sent word to me, told me she was going to the fort, that the soldiers would protect her. I fear she is badly mistaken. Only a token force of Brigadines guards Fort Blueblood. If the Dark Brotherhood is truly our enemy, I fear a lone assassin can bypass the fort's defenses with relative ease. Eivor would be better off here in the castle. Go and bring her back at once.
Fort Blueblood? We better hurry. I came a long way to make sure none of these counselors died, and have already let 2 of them down. I'll meet you at the fort. It's to the east, across the river.
Commander Orton oversees the Fort Blueblood Brigadines. Tell him I sent you, and he'll give you his full cooperation. Meanwhile, I'll recall Ivory Brigade squadrons from the surrounding countryside. The city and this castle will be defended.
I'm off duty. Bother someone else.
don't hesitate to